Welcome to the Michigan Golfer Show. Join us each week as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great game.
I was very fortunate to be the guest of one of our favorite people here, Janina Jacobs, tonight.
Thank you, Phyllis.
And obviously, we're celebrating not only Title IX, 50 years, but also there's some amateurs out there that are ready to compete, right, Janina?
Yeah, this is, it's kind of a twofer because it's the 106th Women's State Amateur Championship here at Great Oaks, and today was one of the qualifying days, and they're all going to whittle down to match play here in a couple days. And I think that was one of the reasons that we decided to have this event here and now was because we wanted to have these young ladies, or should I say young women, I'm not sure what to call anybody anymore, but we just wanted them to understand, because I'm sure a lot of the competitors are in their teens and 20s and would not have been around when Title IX was enacted, may not know anything about Title IX, and we just want them to understand that there was a lot that has happened in order for them to have the opportunities that they have today. And those ladies like me and others of a certain age did a lot of fighting for dealing with inequities and less opportunities than are available now.
But you also, Janina, as you mentioned earlier in your speech, you were fortunate, and you were actually, after Title IX was endorsed, or you were able to play with the boys, right?
I was like a direct beneficiary of Title IX, in that when Title IX passed in June of 1972, I was completing my junior year. And so I was invited to join the men's golf team at Pershing High School that fall, which made me the first woman to play on a men's golf team in Michigan, which I played that fall. And then when I went on to college the following year in 1973 at Wayne State University, I was also invited to play on the men's team there, with my brother being 2 years ahead of me. Pretty interesting dynamics is what that was. And I also did get to
beat him.
You know what? There were times. Well, I wasn't trying to beat him because he was on my team, but there was a rivalry because, oh, Chris, your sister, he'd get a lot of berries because of it, raspberries, and so it was a very interesting time. And I also did get a golf scholarship. I was already there at Wayne State on an academic scholarship, but they did offer me a golf scholarship, which was pretty nice.
Yeah. And then one thing you did mention that you had to play from the tees that were about 7,000 yards. Is that what you said?
We did, yeah. I mean, there were no forward tees, and even if there were, I was on the men's team. And I understood that I played from the men's tees. We called it down and from the blues because we played, at Wayne State we played in the spring. And I don't need to tell you what March and April are like here in Michigan. We didn't have water hazards, they were ice hazards, so the ball would just kind of skitter across them. But no, we did play from the backyardage, anywhere from 6,500, 68, 7,000, where they played, I played. And that was just how it was. The other thing, too, was there were a lot of young men that I competed against back in the 70s who are now golf professionals, directors of golf, or in the golf industry somehow. And it's interesting because I know I won matches and I know I lost matches, but I'm not sure who I beat and who I didn't, but they sure remember. But one interesting thing is I did play.
They didn't call you that B word, did they?
No, they were really good. I did not have, well, at least to my face, I did not have the experiences, the bad experiences that some people did have. I was welcomed. My coach was a former Green Bay Packer, Joel Mason, and I don't think anyone wanted to tangle with him. So I had no real bad experiences with it. One nice thing about being on the men's team was that despite being on that as a team, I could still compete as a single in the women's tournaments. So that's where I got to meet a lot of Michigan Staters like Joan Garrity and Sue Ertl and Suzanne Conlon and Debbie Williams, and we got to play in all kinds.
Did you ever play with Elaine Crosby?
I did not. She was, I think she was out of college by the time I got there. But Meg Mallon.
Okay.
Yeah, Meg Mallon. So I competed. In fact, the state amateur field back then was full of a lot of really, really top players. Wow. So there's some great history there that that does need to get out. So I'm glad you're here doing this, Phyllis, because it's as you heard today, there's a lot of hidden stories.
Yeah, and that's one thing, Janina, give us one thing. I know there's several that we walked away from today, but in terms of getting the word out, what was one of the messages you felt that was really impactful tonight?
I would think that, well, all of the speakers were so dynamic, including our own, Debbie Williams and Summer and Dr. Watts. They and Francine too, and Judy
and you.
Well, we tried. We weren't really given any guidance as to what we should say or not say, so we just kind of took the bull by the horns. But we all kind of injected some of our own experiences, mostly positive. But there were some things, some statistics that Debbie gave about things that had happened way back when, and things you were told. You don't play golf because you're a girl. You don't do this because you're a girl. And those types of things, unless you have a strong father or a strong father figure to combat that, which I did, and my brothers too, you don't get that message. So I think maybe the best takeaway is for fathers or grandfathers or uncles to really encourage your girls to not take any of that, to dispel those myths, to fight back if somebody says you can't. You just go out and do it anyway. One of my best examples is the bumblebee. The bumblebee's kind of round and got little skinny wings and shouldn't be able to fly, but he doesn't know that, and he just goes and flies anyway and pollinates everything and does good. So, whenever I saw a bumblebee today buzzing around my petunias, and I thought, that's something to remember. Just because somebody says you can or somebody says you shouldn't doesn't mean that you don't. I also remember when the terminology ladies' tee was brought up versus forward tee, and we hear that all the time. And I just think everybody should be encouraged to play whatever tee they want, as far forward as they want. Just because you're a woman or a senior or a junior or maybe you're a 30-year-old who just maybe had some physical impairment and you just can't hit the ball as far. Well, move up. It's supposed to be fun. And I think that worrying about if you call it the ladies' tees. I remember this one guy. I was playing in a golf outing, and I think I was the only woman. It was the fireman's fun. My dad was a firefighter, and he used to bring us kids to play, and I was Buck's girl, the golfer. And I remember I felt so bad one day when the rules stated that women were to play the forward tee. And so when I walked up to the forward tee, there was some guy coming the other way, and he yells out the card at me, "You're a cheater!" And I went, What do you mean I'm a cheater? Because you're playing those ladies' tees. Well, what are you supposed to do with somebody like that? And be nice. I mean, sometimes you don't want to be nice, but golf is a gentleman's and gentlewoman's game, so you try to be nice, but sometimes you're thinking other thoughts. Like, as I said, well-behaved women seldom make history.
And don't call us smart cookies.
Oh, yeah, there's that too. But there's so much that can be said. But anyway, today was such a great event, and as some of the speakers said, we shouldn't have to wait 50 years to celebrate events that are very important in women's golf, or with women in general. Right. And I'm always happy to be a part of anything that we can do to get that message out.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for being with us tonight, and thank you for having me. I really enjoyed the event. Thank you so much.
I'm happy.